Today I get to spend time with some rock stars at Boomtown Unite in Charleston. All right, guys, super excited to share some stuff with you guys today. I've got Tom, I've got Doug. We want to share a little bit. Why don't you guys just share with our agents kind of who you are, where you live, kind of what you do?
Sure. My name is Tom Toole. I am from Philadelphia. We work the Philadelphia area market, Tom Toole Sales Group at RE/MAX. We sold 262 properties last year. This year we're pacing about 350.
It's awesome.
Doug? That's amazing, yeah. So Doug Edrington with Berkshire Hathaway, so we're neighbors here, J. Douglas Properties in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Got a team, got a brokerage. We're 11 months into it, so we're pretty new. But we've been recruiting like crazy and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is what's cool about this is when you come to an event, you get to spend time with people that are just doing this thing. And so what was great about this is Doug and I were talking earlier today, I was like, hey man, let's just get together. I'd love for my agents and our agents kind of to hear a little bit about what's going on with yours. And so as we got sitting down, we were talking about this, I was like, hey, let's just bring all three of us in here, Absolutely. Talk a little bit about this. So if you guys don't mind, Doug, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about some of the characteristics maybe you see that top agents are doing.
Yeah, so like my perspective is coming from a couple different angles because I've been in production my whole life up until like 2 years ago, and then I stepped out and I've solely focused on a team, now focused on a brokerage, been coaching with Tom Ferry for a couple years, and so it's not just about like what I do and what I see, it's like a couple different filters I get to look through. And the main consistencies that I see are like living by a calendar, following that schedule, super important, practicing what you do, like really understand your craft, your art. And like, it's not that it's anything secret. We all know what we're supposed to do, but it's the ones that actually do those things. So a concept that I came up with a while back ago for my own agents, it's because sometimes you got to hear it super elementary, is a thought process called classroom practice performance. It's understanding like the classroom is about the classroom. It's understanding new theories. It's understanding, it could be watching a YouTube video, maybe this. It could be going to a conference. Like all those things are classroom, right? And then there's practice, which is the actual opportunity where you have to screw up. You know, it's like right. because if you're not actually practicing role playing, getting in front of a camera, getting uncomfortable for a second, what do you end up doing? Practicing on paychecks.
Right.
And that's where performance comes in. You want to have that level 10 performance, and if you focus on classroom, like learning new ideals, and then really practicing, you will perform at a level 10 every single time.
Great, that's great. What about y'all? How are y'all doing? What are you seeing?
Well, we're pretty big on the daily routine and prospecting, and we have some minimum standards to be on our team. And you said it earlier today, you got to be in the trenches with your team when you were doing your presentation. And Tom talked about the illusion of choice this morning, Tom Ferry. And that's something we've actually worked on. I also coach with his company, and we have our people there. And if you want to get new leads, you got to be there making calls.
Yes.
So we can work on it together. We can hear them. Same thing you're doing. But it's really just putting in the work and trying to get better while you're doing it.
Right.
Like not going through the motions, but like doing the script practice, using the body language, like karate chopping when you hear upswings and those sort of things. And that's how I became successful. So we're just trying to transfer those skills to our agents, and people that are in great, and the other ones, maybe they just shouldn't be working on our team.
No, I agree. Let me ask you this, like kind of take that next level, because we all have agents that will kind of get to a place where maybe they're having these upswings and these downswings, and the one that really gets me is the one that hits the plateau. You know what I mean? So what would you tell somebody that maybe has done okay in the business, has done pretty well, but they've hit that plateau and can't seem to break through? Is there something in particular you would suggest at that point?
Well, I hit the plateau. Like this happened to me, and that's why I got into coaching. So I saw the things I was doing, it got me to a certain level, but it didn't get us to the level I wanted to go to. So then we had to reevaluate where are the gaps in our business, where are the money leaks. You look at each lead pillar, or maybe lead pillars are not even working, and really become analytical and know your numbers, your ROI, what your cost per lead is, cost per appointment, cost per closing, and we really got into those numbers. And we saw that in order for us to level up, we had to make a couple different changes. We had someone helping us, because a coach is just a business advisor. That's what you guys are doing for your agents. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, we're all here for a reason. And when you approach it like a business instead of those people that just say, I want to sell 20 or 30 homes a year, that's where the change happens. Because that's when you're running a business. When you know the numbers, you know what your costs are, you know how to level things up. And analytically, you can say, okay, I talked to 15 people to schedule an appointment, so I want to schedule 3 appointments today. I need to have 45 conversations. And I know that 80% of the time the appointment's going to show up, and every 2 appointments I go on, I do a deal. So then it becomes super analytical, and it's all data driven.
Yeah. And once you know your numbers, I mean, it's really just plug and play. Let me say this too. I think clarity, gives you the ability to really focus. And until you can find that clarity, you're just kind of, it's almost like you're fighting underwater. You can't throw the punches you need to throw to make that gain. One of the things that I'm excited about also is that we're at a place really where I think that the agents that want to grow right now, all the tools are there. We've never had the ability to just YouTube and basically get anything we want to know. We can learn how to do it. If you guys were at a place, where you were at a place where everything got taken away from your business, what's the first thing you would do? What's the first strategy you would implement to either generate leads or to start connecting with people and building your database again? What would you guys do?
I would reach out to the people that know, like, and trust me,
That's right.
use a script, and ask the right questions. It would be that simple, because that should be everyone's best lead source. And these are people that want to work with you, and you want to work with them, because it's not that really difficult for sale by owner or the expired that doesn't want to listen to anybody. These are people that know, like, and trust you, and it's going to be easier, and you'll build momentum, and the momentum will get you feeling better, and you'll be able to go get more. And it's important to have momentum in this business. And really, when you think when you think you're stepping off the gas a little bit, that's when you got to put the foot down harder, because it is hard to get it back.
That's exactly.
It is really hard to get it back.
Yeah, and I would say this too. Sometimes we make it so hard. We try to figure out this new technology that we don't understand, and we spend all this time doing this. In reality, it's just pick up the phone and talk to the people, like you say, that know, like, and trust you. And in reality, when we're talking about plateaus even, a lot of times all the business you need is in that sphere. You just haven't connected with them in a way that gives you the ability to really identify where those opportunities are again. What about you, Doug? What would you say?
Well, it's exactly the same thing. I mean, I'll give you a different spin on it, though. It's not just about, like, first off, how many tools are there out there? You're like,
Right.
Which one do I use? Yes, use you. Use you, because you're capable more than anything else, any other tool, any piece of technology. Maybe that might help you a little bit, though, is like probably just Google, because I know like a ton of sales industries use this, is the memory jogger. So you can probably find a list like that, but it's like, who are all the people, like it's literally, who have I bought flowers from? Who brings me my mail? Who did I buy a car from? Like it's like I'm going like in, I don't know, an interesting direction, but that memory jogger thing is like 2 pages, 3 pages long.
Yeah.
So make sure you're putting all that somewhere, preferably a CRM, right? But yeah, you're getting on the phone and you're absolutely calling all those people. One person to think about in mind, though, a personality type, is when maybe the person who you think you doesn't want to bother to be called. That's the one that where all the money's at, because we typically only call the people that are super chatty, super fun, talk to everybody. Well, guess what? They also know 12 other realtors, right?
Yeah.
The people who are maybe introverted, or maybe like it's a past client and you don't feel like it went super well, but you just know like things just usually don't go super well when they're involved in it, because maybe they're difficult people or they're maybe whatever. What I have found is if you stay in touch with those people, you're the only person staying in touch with that person because nobody else wants to,
That's right. Yeah.
So make sure like you don't just call the people you know, trust, and like.
I'm with you.
But you know what I mean? Like it's a double-edged sword. You go both ways. Just don't forget those people because they're super important. But I think the commonality here is like pick up the phone and call.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
Where I would add into this is the reason I'm sitting here even doing this is because I made a commitment to calling expired listings. That was a career-changing moment for me. And those are the people are afraid to call.
Right.
They have that
It's the
story
same
in their
thing.
head.
Yes.
They think they're jerks. They don't listen. I read a book. It was Real Estate by Mike. It's like a pamphlet. It's a Mike Ferry thing. And it says, this is 2008 when the market was not good. And first, call your sphere. Second, expired listings. They hired an agent. They signed a contract. They just picked the wrong one. And that was like an epiphany to me. That's the same thing you're talking about. Because
Exactly.
people are afraid to call them, but you know who they are.
Yes.
You know where their house is. Like they wanted to sell. So it's you make those calls and make those difficult conversations. That's where you're going to make a lot of money.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, what's exciting right now is that we're at a time in our business where we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I like to say all we got to do is put our own rims on this thing. You know what I mean? In reality, if we just put our own rims on this. So if you're wondering about this, you're going to see in the video, you're going to see some contact information for these guys. You're going to kind of see, if you're wondering what should this look like, how should you be doing the business, how should you be communicating out, I'm going to share some of their contact information. Also, you can just pull them up on social media. I would encourage you to do that. Find yourself 4 or 5 people that are doing it the right way in other markets and just model that in your market, and I promise you're going to see a big change in your business. I hope all this stuff has been helpful. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. It's been great.
Sure, man.
And so take care, and we'll talk to you guys soon.